Transform your performance with corporate purpose. Transform your performance with corporate purpose. So what has inspired me to address this today is an article that was published in Strategy and Business on the web, and it has a title which says "Why Corporate Purpose Statements Often Miss Their Mark." And I think the information from this research is surprising. Yes, surprising. And if you're a chief executive running a business, you might find it surprising too. So this is a piece of research that analysed the responses of 2,000 chief executives from across the globe, different sectors, different sizes of business. So a real sort of cross-section. They were asked to describe their company's purpose, and the results suggest that they omit a critical detail. That critical detail is why their company is in business. I'm going to give a bit more information on that, but first of all, let me tell you who wrote it, so you can decide if it's worth listening to. So the three authors are Christopher Michaelson, who is the Professor of Principled Leadership at the University of St. Thomas, Douglas Lepisto, who's the Associate Professor of Management at Western Michigan University, and Michael Pratt, who's the Family Professor of Management at Boston College. And they have written they've done this particular analysis. There are a couple of other contributors. You'll be able to see exactly what the article is and who contributed, because I'm going to put a link in to Strategy and Business, so you can go directly to the source of the article, if you want it. Now, why corporate purpose statements often miss their mark? And they say, in extraordinary times, a statement of purpose can serve as an organization's anchor. I think they're stating things that you probably agree with. A clear reminder of a company's core identity grounds employees, customers, and other stakeholders who may feel adrift, enabling them to focus on addressing critical problems. So it grounds all the stakeholders in extraordinary times. Of course, even in ordinary times, articulating a corporate statement of purpose has long been considered vital to success. Long been considered vital to success, which is why these results are surprising. The corporate statement of corporate purpose provides a justification for the company's existence, as well as a blueprint for navigating what the company does. And the authors say, incredibly, we found that 93%, I'll say that again, 93% failed to state why their company is in business. 93% of the CEOs that were interviewed failed to state why their company is in business. In other words, most purpose statements lack any meaningful sense of purpose. Right. So that is surprising. Across the globe, 93% of CEOs fail to make clear statements of purpose. When you add that to Michael Porter's comments that most companies don't have a strategy, you, at least I do, begin to wonder what the management consultancies have been doing for the last 30 years that have been advising at least some of these 2,000 organizations. They continue. Simply stating something does not necessarily make it so, but a meaningful purpose statement that has ethical, emotional, and rational appeal should be likelier to influence a good purpose in practice than one that does not. Should be likelier. So, maybe they're making some assumptions. Maybe they've got other evidence. I'm not sure about that. But what I do know from my own practice over the last few decades in this area is there is no question that a meaningful purpose statement that has ethical, emotional, and rational appeal will influence a good purpose, will influence the practice, a good purpose in practice, than one that does not. Okay, sorry, I got a bit tongue-tied with my words there. We know from our own practice, I have been on this subject now for a few decades. I know how difficult it is, from my own experience, to have clarity in this area, because you have to be very careful about the words that you choose to use. Picking the wrong word to start with, at the wrong level of logic, in a sense, will lead you down a blind alley. Okay, so I'm fully aware of the sort of pitfalls in this area, and our work we call it strategy, right? They're calling it principle leadership. They're basically, intertwinable. When you're considering words like purpose, values, vision, mission, and strategy, these words all have different definitions, but they're all part of the same puzzle. They bring all the parts of the elephant into the room, and it's very difficult to consider one without the other, in my experience. Okay, they go on to say, the authors go on to say, that developing a powerful purpose statement establishes what is unique and non-replicable about a company and provides competitive advantage. It does. Developing a powerful purpose statement establishes what is unique and non-replicable. But I can also add at this point, from my own experience, that a purpose tends to be the flip side of a predicament, and as such it is a felt thing rather than an intellectual idea. So unless you're actually getting to the predicament of why your business exists in the first place, why you're bothering with it in the first place, unless you get to that predicament, I think that you're unlikely to get the real statement or intent of purpose that you're looking for. Okay, that's me adding into their work. They go on to say, they go on in this analysis to look at, they give a recommendation of what you might do to, in their eyes, correct this position where corporate purpose statements often miss their mark. I also have work available on this channel that looks at this area of purpose and the other areas of values, vision, what people call mission, and strategy. You can find them. Business Strategy in Lockdown is a series where I try to go into the background to explain this. And I also have a flyer, which is a simple flyer called Diamond Mining, which will be linked below, which looks at the 5 elements or 5 components of a good strategy. And I think it's important to say that the model that I'm presenting there is evidenced in observation and results for companies results like doubling the revenue of a major organization, like doubling the profitability of a major organization, like making sure that a leading charity lived to its purpose, its stated purpose, rather than just looking for the figures and the grants. Okay. So it's in the link below. So if you like these sort of discussions and this sort of work, you can stay in touch by pressing the subscribe button. I think that's probably all I've got to say. This is about transforming your performance with corporate purpose, and the thing that prompted it was an article by those three authors, Michaelson, Lato, and Pratt, who were saying that 93% of chief executives of 2,000 companies from across the world are not doing it. Great. That's what I find surprising. I wonder whether you do too. Leave a comment. Thank you.